Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddie and I am turning 26 on Tuesday, November 12th. And every year here on BookTube, I have done a book haul. The first 4 books that we're going to talk about are a part of series. So I've already read the first book, the second book, and these are just the continuation of the series, starting with Vows and Ruins. This is book 2 in the Legends of the Thesmar series, and I enjoyed Blood and Steel last month. If you guys want to go watch my wrap up, go ahead and do that, but I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars, and I think the second book is worth picking up. I'm a little nervous to get into it because I did browse on Goodreads, and the second book is not everyone's favorite, but I think the third book gets better. So I'm good with giving a series a shot if I know that eventually it'll get better and better. This story is about Thea, and Thea wants to become a soldier of the Thesmerian army so bad, but women are not allowed in this world, and she decides to take matters into her own hands, goes to the king, and kind of wiggles her way into training for a position in the military. I'm excited to continue this. The tension in the last book with the romance was beautiful, and I'm excited to see more of them. This one is The Blood Trader. Book 3 in the Prison Healer series is young adult, but it's one of the only young adult trilogies or series that I've really enjoyed and loved and fallen in love with the characters because they seem a little older. They're going through really harsh times and they have to mature very quickly. So this is one young adult series that I'm thoroughly enjoying. Kiva is such a strong main female character, and the love interest, what just happened at the end of book 2. So nervous and so scared for Kiva, but that's fine. It's fine. This one right here, I'm dying to read, but I am waiting for the Libby audiobook because I have fallen in love with the narrators and the voices of the audiobook, probably because they all have British accents, and it's great. It's exactly what I think they sound and enunciate things in my head. Like, it's perfect for them. Magnolia Parks, Into the Dark. These covers, I understand, they are not good. Like, the original covers are beautiful and I definitely want the original covers, but what I am struggling with now is I have annotated all of the books, and switching to the pretty covers, maybe I'll just have 2 copies of each book, but then that's like, this series I kind of hate myself for loving, so do I really need 2 copies of each book? I don't know. Maybe that could be another gift to myself for Christmas, I'm not sure. This one is a lot thicker than the other books in this series, so I'm very excited to see why there's so much more info in this, but because of the last Magnolia Parks book that I read, the ending was just like so out of pocket that I'm intrigued to get back into this world. The next book is book 2, The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. I did read Once Upon a Broken Heart last week. That book was the most commented on my Goodreads ever. But wow, people were so excited that I was reading that book. I liked it enough to continue the series. Don't know when I'll pick this book up, but it took me almost a year to pick up Once Upon a Broken Heart. If you can convince me to pick this up sooner, then do that in the comments below. I mean, that is my favorite color, purple, so I mean, it's pretty. These ones are not continuations of series. If they are in a series, it's the first book in a series, but this one has probably been the most recommended to me and I know nothing about it. Flock, I know nothing. Is this a part of the series that like it's all the cousins and like uncles that are involved? Like, what is that series? Because I don't really want to read that. I don't want to read the back of this. I kind of want to go into this completely blind, but it's been sitting on my Kindle Unlimited for a really long time, just sitting in my library, and I just, every time I see it, I'm like, not yet, not yet. So I figured, let me buy it, and one of my goals every year, unfortunately, is to dwindle down my physical TBR. It does keep growing, but I'm slowly working it down, and I thought, why not add this to my physical TBR? So then I'm forced to actually pick it up in physical form and read it. If you like this series, can you please comment why? I know there's gotta be romance in it, but again, I'm not even gonna read as I start reading it. Okay, the next book, as you can probably tell by the color scheme, Normal People. I don't really want to read this, but I feel like it's one of those staple BookTube, Bookstagram books that you kind of have to read, and it's really thin, it's really tiny. I believe it's a coming of age story about two characters. That was so bad. A contemporary literary fiction, and Brock actually wants to read this one, so maybe he and I could read it together and we could watch the Hulu TV show after, so that would be kind of nice. But I'm not too excited to read this book because of the mixed 50-50 reviews that I've heard and read. People say you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. Now the next one is a recommendation from Peruse Project, Reagan, Queen of the Tierling. It is a young adult fantasy book. She recommended this years ago in a fantasy recommendations video, and I've always wanted to read it. It's been on my TBR for a little bit. I've seen it in Barnes & Noble and bookstores before, so I thought, why not just add it, you know? Because I've had good luck with young adult this year, I was like, why not another one? This book was also written in 2014, and I feel like a lot of the books written now are inspired and are from authors who read books like this, so I kind of feel like this is the foundation. Like, I just want to read a book from a decade ago. Writing and fantasy and romantasy and romance, all of it has grown so much, so if I can just get a little glimpse into this world or into young adult before it was what it is now, I want to do that. I think it's a little generic plot. Girl trying to win back her family's throne and kind of defeat the current queen who stole it from her family. So that is what I've gathered from the reviews that I've seen. Very excited. The next one I got at my local bookstore a few weeks ago is We Hunt the Flame. It's in wonderful condition and it was only $6. And I don't know anything about this. That's the story. That's literally every book I've said. I don't know anything about it. It's because I don't. Like, if you know me and my channel, I go into books blind, and you have to be okay with that and willing to watch my channel even if I don't know what books are about until I read them, okay? See, this is why I don't read the back of the book. That didn't make a lick of sense. When I read the book, I'll have a way better summary for you, but just know it's going to be sitting on my TBR until I read it, So the next two books I'm going to talk about, in 2025, I want to make it a goal of mine to read scary books. Books that I have seen everywhere, but they are so intimidating to me. Like, they are either thick, or they are so highly loved, or they're series that might have multiple books in them. I want to do hard things in 2025, and that includes my bookish stuff. And this is not scary in the sense of like spooky scary. It's just I've seen it since I've started my booktube channel. Every time I go to Barnes & Noble, it's in the same spot and I see it all the time and it just haunts me. It's like, you want to read me. Like, I don't know why I want to read this because it looks like something my little brother would love, but The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I know this is a high fantasy series. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 3 or more, maybe 4 point of views. It is a part of a trilogy called The First Law, so there's only 3 books. That's not as scary. I think this one is just, it's not dense, but it's one of the books that I would categorize in my head as hard to read. Like, it's a high fantasy. I feel like my brain is not gonna grasp or understand this series or this world like other people do, and they love it. Like, I want to be a part of that, and I did a whole video of high fantasy, I forgot what that video is called, but I'll tag it here, of books that I want to read but I'm scared to. I've also heard that this book has a very immersive audiobook, so I'm excited to pick up that because I know that there's a cast of characters, which does kind of help my brain absorb a little bit better so I can distinguish voices. And the last book. You guys, watch me pick this up next December because all of 2025 I'm gonna be dreading picking this book up. Not because I don't want to read it. This is a time commitment. And I know that if I love this book, I'm gonna have to pick up the other books in the series. And I know the 5th one comes out soon, so maybe I could read all 4 before the 5th one comes out, but I don't know. I can't do that. I can't. I have too many other books that I need to read. Brandon Sanderson, I don't really have to explain myself on this one. I feel like it's just, again, a staple piece in the fantasy world. Let me tell you right now, I want to read this book. I just don't know when. These two I'm just nervous to read, but I think once I do, I'll understand the hype, or I hope I understand the hype. So I want to be a part of those like cult followings for these authors and these high fantasy books, but sometimes I just don't get it. Now I'm gonna push these out of the way because I did pre-order some books. And the way that my brain works It's girl math. Pre-orders to me are free, because your card doesn't get charged until closer to the shipping date. So you can pre-order as many books as you want in one day, and it's basically free. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I did read this a few months ago, but I want the paperback copy because this is one of the few Christina Lauren books that I genuinely loved. So I want my own copy, and I did not want the hardcover because all of the other Christina Lauren books that I have are all in paperback, and that's just me being picky. Onyx Storm comes out January 21st. Yes, I believe January 21st. Now, I pre-ordered this when it was announced, but my friend and I here in Colorado Springs are going to the midnight release, and it's really cool because Rebecca Yarros is from Colorado Springs, so I think that is, I mean, it's gonna be so busy and like a huge midnight release party, which I'm really excited for. I went to the Crescent City 3 midnight release party with this same friend, so it's kind of just this tradition that we're doing. Very excited for that. So on this one, I'll probably do a giveaway when January comes around, so keep your eye out. The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy comes out February 25th. Can you tell I have my laptop right there? Over the moon excited about this one because the Graham Effect and the Dixon Rule are probably gonna make top 10 this year. Like, I loved both of those books, and this one I just know I'm gonna love even more. The plot on this one I think is gonna be a little bit different, or the character dynamic, so I'm very interested in that. Love Elle Kennedy. I'm kind of doing this out of order because this one comes out on February 11th, but it is Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver, and this is the third book in the Butcher and Blackbird series. I don't know, is there a name for that? The murderous... There is the ruinous murders. That's not right. Anyways, this book, because it's a part of a series that I love, it's the third book, excited for it. Then February 4th, we have Deepened by Ali Hazelwood, and that one is pretty self-explanatory. I feel like every Ali Hazelwood book that comes out, I will be reading. I'm currently listening to the Two Can Play. It's the little novella 4-hour audiobook that she has, so I'm listening to that right now. And her novellas are kind of okay, but anything she comes out with, I will be buying and reading. That is it for this birthday book haul. I am not ready to turn 26. I feel like 26 is definitely entering, like, I feel more developed. Like, I can tell 25 was a very mentally developing year for me. That was really dumb. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go, okay? Please like and subscribe and check the links down in the bio if you want to join the book club. This month's pick is Hexed by Emily McIntyre, and I am loving it so far. Her tension is so freaking good. I will see you guys in the next video.